He has promised the law will take its course to punish demonstrators and prevent every form of manifestation on September 22, 2020. According to a communique signed today, the government insists that no demonstration can be considered peaceful when its declared intent is to trigger an uprising and overthrow the democratically elected Republican institution, stating in clear terms that security forces will take every necessary step to strictly maintain law and order as well as social peace. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 6:30 Prime News on My Major Prime, live from the country's economic capital, Douala. We're streaming live from Studio A of My Major Prime. Genda Peldrin Blanche King is my name. The Minister of Territorial Administration, Minister Paul Atanga-Nji, has reiterated strong warnings against the unauthorized demonstration called by the president of the MRC political party, scheduled for September 22 to disrupt the upcoming regional elections, which will take place on December 6, 2020. He was specific that defaulters will meet stiff resistance from the forces of law and order. Details in the following report with Dolin Gonde.
Cameroon's Camto's on resilience calls for a purported nationwide stage protest come September the 22nd this year are seemingly not falling on deaf ears, as Minister Paul Atanga-Nji of the Territorial Administration has been lashing out stiff threats towards the strong political opposition party leaders planned rallying. With many political opposition parties bent on boycotting the advanced December regional elections, the leader of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, Professor Maurice Kamto, is even more determined to oust his incumbent rival, President Biya, out of power. With the electoral code revised and the non-observance of the upcoming December regional elections beyond resolutions to the existing Anglophone crisis, these are the basis for the strongman September 22nd nationwide protests. In his capacity to maintain law and order in the country, the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanga-Nji, on the other hand, has once again backlashed a more fierce order against any nationwide protests. In a letter addressed to the governors of the littoral, center and west regions of the country, Paul Atanga-Nji has once more called on the state authorities to place strict surveillance measures on anyone preparing to stage any such protest on the 22nd of September. While being more specific on members of the CRM, he has termed their attempts as acts of disturbing public order. As revealed by the minister, these three regions are most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and any attempt to stage any public manifesto will endanger the lives of the population. Finally, he further stressed that if the supporters of the CRM go ahead to stage the protest in defiance to the ban on public gatherings, then the concerned governors should proceed by arresting all those leading the protests as well as those who convened the protest in writing or during televised debates.
Northwest Governor Adolphe Lafrique has urged the population to collaborate with security forces to ensure Bamenda gets back to calm and serenity. He was speaking recently during a security meeting with defense forces and divisional officers. Details in the following report. Following recent attacks from armed groups in the city of Bamenda, security and defense forces resorted to an operation that will end attacks from armed separatists. It is exactly 1 week since Operation Bamenda Clean was launched under the supervision of Brigadier General Nkavale. The city is relatively calm and some economic activities grounded for fear of the unknown. Northwest Governor Adolphe Lafrique has, however, called on civil servants who have abandoned their duty posts to resume duty effectively or face administrative sanctions.
The civil servants of this region to go back to their various working sites. If not, they are going to face the might of the laws and regulations of the Republic and to fight against the ghost town. We are going, as from today henceforth, to send our inspectors to trace and sanction those that are not coming to work on Monday. We are also going to reinforce the security to help the civil servants that are going back to their various working sites to go there peacefully.
Governor Adolphe Lele-L'Afrique was speaking recently during a security meeting with the 7 senior divisional officers and heads of the defense and security forces. The governor urged the population to comply with security forces to ensure Bamenda is calm and normal again, insisting the campaign will spread all over the northwest region.
A clean-up campaign I've started in Bamenda here. It is going to spread all over the northwest region, where we are going to fight against the hoodlums, disguised, that are threatening the quiet environment we were rejoicing some few years back. So I will like here to still reiterate it. We cannot allow the hoodlums to take control of this beautiful region.
He equally talked about the construction of the Babaju-Bamenda road, which will begin in the days ahead.
All is said for the effective beginning of work on the Babaju-Bamenda stretch of road. Once more, we call on the patriotism and frank collaboration of people living along this road to ensure the safety of work material. In fact, I have instructed all the administrative authorities, along with traditional rulers and communities, to organize themselves to support and help the security services to give long-lasting security to the companies that are going to rehabilitate our road, not only on the stretch of road between Babaju and Bamenda, but all over in the region.
Meantime, the call to support the cause for a peaceful Bamenda is a general call. The far north region of the country has recorded another suicide bombing attack by the Boko Haram terrorist group. The attack carried out over the weekend left about 5 inhabitants, including a chief and his wives, dead. Audrey Zatza completes the story.
The Boko Haram suicide bombing attack claimed the lives of 5 inhabitants of Zivelet village located in the borders of the country, including its chief and wives. Reports say the attack came from 2 women equipped with explosive belts who had previously been infiltrated into the village with the aim of mingling with the villagers fleeing from the crowd to explode in their midst. The other female suicide bomber was injured as she failed to detonate her bomb and is said to be in detention. Local authorities say the mode of operation of the Boko Haram insurgents has changed as the Zivelet village was first subjected to gunshots from armed groups hidden in front of the military camp. This sector has been the object of attacks by the group of Abubakar Sheko, where isolated assassinations, throwing of grenades, kidnappings, and attacks on military posts are still carrying on.
Some technicians involved in internal house decoration known as staffing have called on the government to normalize the prices of their materials. Meeting in Kumba today, they carved out some difficulties and called on the government of Cameroon to aid or assist them with their struggle or their ideas and their crafts. Details in the following report with a reporter from Kumba, Tamfu Sidwan.
These technicians, drawn from the various cities and towns in the southwest region, involved in internal house decoration, better known as staffing, have called on the government of Cameroon to normalize the prices of materials used in house finishing, which finalizes the house construction process. Meeting in Kumba today, they denounced the geometric increase in the prices of their materials, especially the specialized cement used in the staffing process.
The bag of cement is 6,000 francs. They get up and triple it without any explanations. We don't know if the Minister of Commerce is aware of this price that they have increased like this.
Due to the prices of this, our issue was cement. We don't disturb it overweight. We need to get materials. We need to get the jobs there. The jobs that they do is materials be expensive, will be difficult.
The Southwest Staffers Union also used the opportunity to go legal by drafting laws that will guide their operation in the Southwest region.
Due to the increase of prices of product which we are using to work, we decided to drop out the constitution. Then we will have to put a pledge in front of the government so that the government will hear our cry and our plea outside. Because we are not a political party, but we are out to employ and to train young Cameroonians as well.
The plenty people, they don't use the job for the take and for the money our banks. then they take the job, then they spoil our name, we make them now, we don't even get over because of fear.
According to members of the union, they are working hard to also create self-employment opportunities to youth, thereby reducing crime wave in the southwest region.
We make sure that young people really enter the trade. And with a lot of difficulties how the face are now, and a beautiful job we would like our young people to join us. Because we really see now plenty young people, our plenty now for stable plenty.
This is a noble profession, and it's a profession that has a lot of respect. It's an artistic profession which gives you the opportunity in the society to belong in whatever domain you can find yourself.
In the meantime, the Southwest Staffers Union has sent a strong message to the government of Cameroon to ensure that the prices of their inputs are normalized.
Tico Council has launched the high-intensity labor and demonstrative work approach (HIMO) for the pavement of some major streets in Tico municipality under the supervision of the Ministry of the Economy Planning and Local Development. The launching brought together traditional rulers, internal and external stakeholders of the Tico municipality. Our reporter Jobe Moki Regan completes the story from Tico.
The muddy nature of the main entrance to Tico town during the rainy season and dusty during the dry season is a call for concern. It is against this backdrop that the Tico Council, headed by His Royal Highness Mayor Peter Ikomi Mesoso III, has launched the project of paving the road from Post Office Junction, passing through Faith Pharmacy to the former slaughterhouse and to New Quarter Junction in Tico municipality. Using the high-intensity labor demonstrative work approach under the supervision of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Local Development, the Council intends to carry out rehabilitation work. The launching exercise that started with a workshop at the conference hall of the Lord Mayor of Tico, aiming at presenting the full project to the Tico Council from the delegation of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Local Development, and to evaluate the readiness of Tico Council. At the ceremonial ground of the launching exercise, the Lord Mayor of Tico Municipality extended word of gratitude to the head of state on behalf of the Tico population.
I want to also extend, on behalf of the Tico Municipality, our gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic, who, in his place, has not forgotten Tico for once, and had to be as part of the contributors to confirm that this project should come to His Excellency President President.
The launching also witnessed the pouring of libation by some chief of the Tico Chiefs Conference. Dr. Anglophone is the divisional officer for Tico subdivision.
Ladies and gentlemen, that I declare launch the work of paving of the road from Post Office Junction passing through Faith Pharmacy to the former slaughterhouse to the new town quarter junction.
To some youth in Tico municipality, this will go a long way in generating income for them.
As a student, this project is here for people like us because with this during your spare time, you could come attend, and with the money you get from it, you can buy your some necessities, and it will really help our students.
Generating more income. It's not only helping me, but my parents, my school works. Like I can assist with my school fee.
Well, actually, it's a very encouraging project. It's actually very overwhelming. I'm happy because the little I get from it will help me very much.
It should be noted that the ceremony was characterized with animation from traditional dance group, handing of equipment to some workers in the presence of Senator Fondasin Leone Patimatu and Honorable Findi Stanley, member of the National Assembly.
Elements of the intervention units of the police in Yassa Littoral region have apprehended 2 individuals who claim they are civil servants working at the Ministry of Defense. These 2 suspects were arrested in possession of military gadgets, a knife and a fake pistol, as Nora Kakebi tells us in the following report.
The 32-year-old man who impersonated as a lieutenant was arrested yesterday in Yassa by the law enforcement agents. The impostor, Azele Heve, was found with a knife and a fake pistol in his possession, as well as a military belt. The fake lieutenant claims he is a civil servant working with the Ministry of Defense in the country. Azele Heve, alias Sub-Lieutenant Obam Landry, was arrested in civilian attire but with a military uniform in his possession. He confirms he wears the uniform to impress his girlfriend whenever he goes visiting. The lover had snapped him and sent his pictures to the security officers, who later traced his house.
Je me retrouve à tenue militaire. La tenue militaire s'est retrouvée entre mes mains. C'est tout dans mon sac. Je vais chercher mon petit ami.
Still in his possession are some fake documents attesting that he is actually a civil employee, but with no valid cards to confirm his status. When asked how he managed to acquire the uniform, the imposter says his colleague's girlfriend, after washing it, gave him to hand it over to his friend who owns the uniform.
Ça m'a été remis par la petite amie de l'un de mes collègues.
Also in his possession was a wooden pistol, which he claimed he seized from his 4-year-old nephew, whom he said dangerous toys. He added that he had promised his little nephew a better toy upon arrival from his trip. The suspect equally stressed that the knife in his possession belongs to a friend who is a security guard.
Et ce poignard, ça vous sert à quoi? Ça ne me sert absolument à rien du tout. C'est pour qu'on ait travaillé l'autorité aéronautique. Il est gardien de l'autorité aéronautique. Voilà ces choses qui sont là pour la job.
Another suspect, Chajo Yachong Chao, 35, who pretended to be deaf, was equally apprehended by security forces. After proper investigations, he too was found in possession of some military gadgets, which he claimed he picked in a vehicle. Upon interrogation by the security forces, Chao said,
Non, une voiture de gendarmerie. C'est d'où? Alors je m'approche vers un adjudant, je lui dis, je ne partais pas avec. Je sors de Yaoundé, Abega, c'est mon ami.
Both suspects are under police custody and will be tried in court. Meanwhile, investigations are ongoing to get hold of other accomplices.
You're watching the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. The first batch of final year students at the Higher Institute of Business Management, Himmat Douala, have defended their bachelor's degree. This was during a ceremony in Himmat. Bonamusa details with Fabrice Kendinga.
About 20 students of the Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology, Himmat Douala, have successfully defended their bachelor's degree in the Department of Banking and Finance, Accounting, Management, Transport and Logistics Management, Human Resource Management, and Electrical and Electronics Engineering. This was during a ceremony which took place on Monday, September 14, 2020 at Himmat Douala campus in Bonamusadi under the watchful eyes of the Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Ibrahim Talakachi. The students from 6 regions of the school each defended their bachelor's degree before a panel of jurists.
I presented my research topic, the impact of loan delinquency on the liquidity of microfinance institutions. And after my findings, I saw that most of the microfinance institutions neglect on how to follow up their customers in order to collect them. That is why they face difficulties in getting back their loan. That's why they always go delinquent, defaulter, because of the inability of the loan officers to follow up their clients adequately to get out their loans.
Okay, my topic is the effect of loan repayment method on loan delinquency. Case study of microfinance institution in Boya. Well, it was not an easy session with the work, but we tried our best. I tried my possible best, and it's very important in our society today to know what affect loan delinquency in microfinance institution, not just microfinance but also banks. And one of them is the loan repayment method, that is the bill discounting, the interest only, and the amortization.
At the end of the defense exercise, the Vice Chancellor of Himmat was elated with the process which was taking place for the first time in their Douala campus.
We know that this is the first defense in this Hipmat Douala campus. And I want to tell you that I am very impressed with the performance of the students. When I came here, I had my doubts, but having gone through the work and having listened to the students defend their work openly, as you have seen, I want to tell you that the performance has been above average.
On his part, the president of Hipmat was also satisfied with the achievements of the institution so far.
This particular exercise, which is ongoing today, is under the strict supervision of the University of Bamenda, which happens to be our mentor university. Our degree students, under the mentorship of the University of Bamenda, wrote their first and second semester exams under the strict supervision and control of the University of Bamenda. Today is a defense exercise. The University of Bamenda have given their okay. That's the reason why this exercise is ongoing presently. Hipmat, as a matter of fact, has come to stay in Douala. The more reason why I want to assure parents and prospective students that just as we started as far back as 2010 in Boya, so too have we started in Douala. And we are bent on growing, we are bent on giving our students the very best when it comes to professional education.
It is now certain that the institution will graduate its first batch of the Douala campus in the days ahead.
Today is International Democracy Day, instituted by the United Nations to consolidate democracy in countries around the world. This year's edition is celebrated under the theme COVID-19, a spotlight on democracy. Details with student journalist and internship, Lem Meklia.
Every September 15 is reserved as World Democracy Day. This year's celebration is celebrated under the theme COVID-19, a spotlight on democracy. Democracy is a political system with institutions that allow citizens to express their political preferences, has a constraint on the power of the executive, and provides a guarantee of civil liberties. In 2007, the United Nations General Assembly resolved to observe 15 September as the International Day of Democracy. The United Nations came out with a preamble of resolutions which affirms that while democracy shares common features, there is no single model of democracy. The Democracy Index states countries leading with democracy in the world are Norway, recording the highest score, 9.87, and Iceland came second with 9.58. According to rankings in the world established by the Economist Intelligence Unit, Cameroon is the 40th country out of 50 in Africa under the authoritarian regime. The Economist Intelligence Unit Democracy Index was based on 5 heads of criteria, namely political culture, civil liberties, political participation, the functioning of government, and the electoral process. It is hoped that the country, Africa, and in the world ensures that democracy is one of its key tenets.
Gladys Bomotongina has details of news-making events in the African continent. She compiled the following in the French language.
En Côte d'Ivoire, les candidatures respectives de Laurent Gbagbo et Guillaume Soro ont été rejetées par la Cour constitutionnelle pour les présidentielles du 31 octobre prochain, ce mardi 15 septembre 2020. En effet, Guillaume Soro aurait été condamné antérieurement pour détournement de fonds, tandis que Laurent Gbagbo n'aurait pas signé sa déclaration de candidature. Les candidatures retenues sont donc celles d'Alassane Ouattara, Afingue Pascal, Bedi Conan et Kwadio Conan Bertin. Suite au coup d'État observé le 18 août dernier au Mali, aux différentes décisions prises par la CEDEAO et à la résultante de tout ceci sur le peuple malien, une importante réunion s'est tenue ce mardi 15 septembre à Accra au Ghana entre les chefs d'État des pays voisins, demandant au chef militaire, le colonel Assimi Goïta, de favoriser la mise en place d'un pouvoir civil à l'attente de l'organisation des élections nationales prochaines. Ceci afin qu'il puisse lever la sanction commerciale pesant sur le pays. En Centrafrique, on parle de la crise alimentaire suite à la crise économique et sociale résultante de la présence du coronavirus, ne permettant donc plus de possibilités d'approvisionnement des populations dans les champs, causant donc ainsi la pénurie de denrées alimentaires les plus consommées. Plus de 2 300 000 personnes en sont donc victimes. Ce même jour, les élèves reprennent la route des classes en Tunisie, 3 mois après le déconfinement observé dans le pays. En effet, ces élèves ne seront présents qu'un jour sur 2, question de respecter les mesures de distanciation sociale, soit 18 élèves par classe. Par ailleurs, toutes les températures sont prises à l'entrée de chaque établissement scolaire.
In sports, the Court of Arbitration for Sports has, through a decision published yesterday, reinstated the suspended Cameroon Football League LFPC of General Pierre Sebengue. In the following report, sportsman Fabrice Kendinga takes us through the stakes and decision. His report.
The Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS, has ordered the Cameroon Football Federation to lift the sanction imposed on the Cameroon Professional Football League, LFPC, of General Pierre Semenge 1 year ago. The communique released on Monday, September 14, instructs Fcfa to submit this decision to the appropriate quarters. This decision from CAS, many football pundits believe, have once again brought Cameroon's football on its knees. The conflict between these two entities didn't find a local solution, and the matter was carried by the LFPC to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. It makes meaning to recall that the LFPC was indefinitely suspended by the Cameroon Football Federation on the 22nd of August 2019, which created a technical transitional committee to manage the 2019-2020 football season. General Pierre Semenge, at the helm of the LFPC, contested the decision, taking the case to Fcafoot's appeal committee that gave a deaf ear. On the 29th of January 2019, the Chamber of Conciliation and Arbitration of Cameroon's National Olympic Committee issued a report of non-conciliation, and the LFPC carried its case to the CAS. However, the implementation of this decision is certainly a bitter pill to swallow for Seydou Mbumbunjoya and his crew. This means that the 2019-2020 football season organized by the Technical Transitional Committee will be cancelled, and the cancellation will not be different from a bombshell to fans of PWD Social Football Club of Bamenda, the Abakwa Boys, who have waited for 58 years to lift a major trophy in the club's history. PWD of Bamenda are close to being stripped of his title of champion of Cameroon with the expected return of General Pierre Semenge and his LFPC. The Abakwa Boys are actively preparing for their maiden appearance at the upcoming CAF Champions League, and analysts say any decision which taken could see the Abakwa Boys lose its crown will be a step towards the wrong direction following the prevailing socio-political crisis in the city of Bamenda. For now, the Cameroon Football Federation has, through a communique, said they have taken note of the decision. The communique released on Monday, September 14, indicates that Fcfa will submit this decision of CAS to its competent organs, which include the Executive Committee and the General Assembly, on the 24th and 25th of September, respectively. Failure to respect this CAS decision might bring in a sledgehammer of the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, with another normalization committee. It is worth noting that football activities have not been the same since the tussle for supremacy between Fcfa and the LFPC began in 2019. Delays and postponements have been the new normal with football events in Cameroon. It is still not certain if the start date of the new season, which is expected to begin in October 2020, will be respected. This only comes to confirm the African proverb that says, when elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers.
Thanks, Fabrice Keninga. Prime News ends here. We benefited from the technical expertise of Ewane Eli Nolinga with coordination from Faith Tata Berenyoy. My name is Gienda Pelgin Blanche King. Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow, God willing, 6:30 for another edition of Prime News on My Major Prime. While we'll leave you to enjoy Prime Hour with Kim Leonard. Stay tuned to My Major Prime. Good night.